I appreciate your resilience, but I didn't put this here. It's not mine. Strawman are kind of like a false flag operation used as a debate tactic. Sometimes people do it by accident, but more commonly in political debates, it's used on purpose to infantilize an enemy or distract them from a more important line of questioning. Lots of times these arguments are wildly exaggerated and easily debunked by even a little bit of research, such as,
Grumpy Penguin is a salacious degenerate who pantomimes conversation so people won't realize he's mansplaining.
Okay, bad example. What about...
Grumpy Penguin is a socialist, so he obviously wants to take away your money.
This is a better example. Somebody who makes this argument isn't really attacking socialism or me. They're just attacking people who want to take away your money and pretending that I'm one of those people. The real target, the straw man, the imaginary people who want to take away your money, are easy to despise and dismiss. Once they have been dismissed, the person making the argument pretends to have hit me and socialism instead. However, some examples are not so straightforward.
Grumpy Penguin claims to be a socialist, but he lives in a house instead of a homeless shelter.
He's implying that living in a house is mutually exclusive with socialism. To the contrary, as a socialist, I want everybody to live in a house, or comparably comfortable accommodation.
Grumpy Penguin claims he wants people to live in houses, but last night he kicked Strawman out of his at gunpoint.
Now he's implying that wanting everybody to have comfortable living conditions means you have to share your own with other people. To the contrary, I want everybody to have their own accommodations.
Grumpy Penguin claims he wants people to all have their own homes, but he's a socialist.
Here he's implying that people can only live in homes under the concept of personal property, which he also implies is mutually exclusive with socialism. In reality, while I and many other socialists do favor the idea of eliminating the concepts of personal property and money-based economics, I am fully aware that socialism can allow for such concepts under its umbrella, and would probably have to during the course of any transitionary period we might undergo on our way to the utopia that our current level of technological advancement makes possible in the absence of capitalism. Socialism doesn't mean that everybody has nothing because everything belongs to the state. It means everybody gets their needs met as a baseline. In other words, the community you live in gives you a home, and all the other means necessary to live a dignified lifestyle, such as food, healthcare, education, Wi-Fi. If, in addition to having your needs met, you also want luxuries, you could always try working for them.
Grumpy Penguin thinks people will work without getting paid.
He's implying that labor would go without compensation in a socialist utopia. In reality, that compensation would come in forms other than monetary. Community needs labor, and you want luxuries. You provide labor, you get luxuries. In today's capitalist economy, you are usually paid by the hour, not by the quality of your work, which incentivizes people to do as little labor as possible. In other words, capitalism makes people lazy.
Grumpy Penguin wants the government to provide free stuff, but he doesn't talk about how that would raise taxes.
I'm going to talk about that right now. I don't care. Taxation is stupid, and it's only necessary because people are still attached to the idea of money. But as long as we're saddled with capitalism, we're going to need taxes. I don't care one bit about how high taxes get. I only care about people's ability to pay them. If paying higher taxes means I don't have to worry about getting kicked out of an apartment or starving to death, I'm happy. That's an investment. I don't have a problem with giving to my community as long as my community gives back to me, and I'm actually able to pay those taxes. If I can't afford to pay my taxes, that's not because they're too high, but because the taxation system is rigged in favor of the aristocracy, or because my job doesn't pay me enough for the labor I supply, or both. If they're fairly distributed, taxes are good. Tax good.
Grumpy Penguin says taxes are good, but he has caviar in his fridge.
Dog forbid a leftist enjoy the fruit of his labor. Dude, two things can be true. Do you see how I can both pay my fair share in taxes and enjoy nice food in a nice house with a nice internet connection?
Grumpy Penguin?
Okay, this is going nowhere. Let's try a new approach. There is an antithesis to the straw man tactic. The Steelman. To demonstrate, I will now attempt to depict Strawman's arguments in as close a marriage as I can between accuracy and favorability, despite disagreeing with him. Reasons why you might actually want to use a strawman include if you believe that your opponent is being deliberately disingenuous about their position. Say you know that he advocates banishing all dogs from the country, and when you ask him directly, he refuses to give a straight answer. You can then ask him, do you prefer cats or dogs? If he responds cats, you could then ask, really? Why do you hate dogs? That's a strawman, even if you believe that he actually does hate dogs. Practically, what you can do with a strawman is attempt to get a straight answer out of somebody who is hard to pin down. If he denies hating dogs, you can ask him why he advocates banishing them. He can still squirm away, but not without conceding you a massive point. The problem is that even in this example, it's still stupid. You could just tell the truth and ask honest questions. If you use a strawman and get caught doing it, as you are quite likely to, you come off looking much worse than the person you did it to. Furthermore, it's most often used not to get a straight answer out of people, but to conceal one by firing off so much shit in quick succession that the person you're talking to can't respond to any of it. A poor tactic even from a position of power, it is usually employed from a position of fear. If your opponent is using them, he's probably afraid to let you get a word in. He's afraid, well, I guess he's afraid of being left behind. Wow, I am really bad at steelmanning. Maybe I need more practice.
Well, you're not wrong, though. The world is a scary place.
It sure is that, alright.
BLM is burning cities to the ground.
The honk? Seriously, dude, what cities do you think have been burned to the ground?
All of them. Every city.
What cities? Really?
At least one city has been burned by BLM.
Oh yeah? Which one?
One of them.
Is it Portland? Were you going to say Portland?
Sure, Portland works.
Portland is still around. It's fine. It has not been burned.
But it is a festering den of delinquency.
BLM isn't what caused that, and even if they were, the city still has not been burned to the ground. You literally just said it was.
Grumpy Penguin says BLM is not burning cities to the ground, but data exists.
Yes, data does exist. Know what it says? No cities have been burned to the ground by BLM. None!
Grumpy Penguin doesn't believe
for the
that
love of
data
dogs.
exists.
Did you see that? I just kicked Ben Shapiro. Okay, no, I didn't really. Technically, it was just a straw man. Wait, you forgot to like and subscribe! Yeah, okay, that's fair.